No one can hear us behind this music. That's all. Joe never discovered that the other day. No, absolutely not. So no one can hear us coming up out of that. So, I'm sorry. And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Truly appreciate you joining us. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, also as well, of course, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Hopefully, you are doing well with your fantasy football teams. I know I am. But if you aren't, is it time to panic? We'll find out if it is, because this week on Inside Sports Fantasy Football, it is our annual boo, woo, woo. Is it time to push the panic button episode? We'll talk about that this week. Plus, also as well, of course, LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check out Ox 1947 today at LakersBall.com. Plus, he owns a company you need to support, and support well if you live in the Southern California area. So you can go ahead and make him a happy man and less ranting, although you guys kind of like the ranting. So, hey, Joe, can I ask you a question? If you have a good week at Sin Blades, are you less likely to rant or more likely to rant?
No, it doesn't make a difference.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But anyways, please support Joe at Sin Blades with the Y.com. Of course, we had our great friends Jamie Sweet and the number one Lakers blogger that's out there. It is Laker Tom. Go ahead and support them today at Lakerholics.com. They had a great time with us yesterday for Lakerholics Spotlight on Jared Vanderbilt. So go ahead and check it out today at Lakerholics.com. The conversation always there is always chippy, fun, spirited, to say the least. Magic Man is a veteran of the wars at Lakerholics.com. So go ahead and check it out today at Lakerholics.com. Our good friends Empire Jeff at Empire Jeff TV, and also as well, of course, John McCallion. Support their great channels today. And speaking of supporting great channels, please support ours. If you go ahead and click on the little Joe next to the big Joe, you'll go ahead and get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break. Plus, if we're lucky, you might even hear a new subscription or subscriber theme that I added on there here recently this weekend. You guys know what I'm talking about, so you two keep the secret on that. But, go ahead and subscribe today to the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Want to thank everybody for watching and listening. I know that some people were expecting a Denver Nuggets team preview tonight with Gage Bridford from the Denver Stiffs, who had actually frequented us before, gave us some good insight. I think was before the Western Conference Finals. Truly appreciate him stopping by then. Unfortunately, tonight he is ill, to say the least. He has contracted COVID. He is out for today, so he just cannot speak. Through sore throat issues and all that. So I wish him a speedy recovery, wish him well, and I wish him be able to come back on in the not too distant future when he's back up and around. But yes, I wish him a speedy recovery at that. But we thought, since we got this time earmarked for you, and I don't have to record the Pop Culture Cosmos here until 6:30, I thought I'd step up and step in here for an hour and 15 minutes, talk to you about what's going on with the Lakers. And here today to go ahead and talk about what's going on with the Lakers, two great guests indeed, two great fellow panelists indeed. First man up, first man here, it's the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to go ahead and talk some Lakers. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Sean, great to have you here. You were very passionate last night. You wanted to boink both me and Joe, like not that way, like pop, punch Joe and I in regards to a situation. Yeah, I know. But because he was so upset because he wanted to express his feelings about a situation going on, first off, with Kobe's and Gigi's mural, the famous Kobe and Gigi mural in Los Angeles, asking for people to sign a petition. There's a petition going around to try and stop the landlord who, I guess, is trying to shut down the gym or trying to get that wall taken down or that mural taken down. Give us the insight of what's going on with this famous Kobe and Gigi mural. It's one of those most beautiful things I've ever seen as far as a dedication to an individual. And I can't believe someone as heartless as that is trying to take it down.
I can't believe it either, Gerald. I saw a news report on it on KTLA, and couldn't believe it. Now, I haven't been to Los Angeles, haven't frequented hardcore fitness, but that is one of the most beautiful murals and tributes that you will ever lay your eyes on. It should be preserved from now until LA is a smoldering rubble, uh, as everything else, because it's not just about what happened. It's about those three young girls having a legacy and having a living tribute and preservation of beauty incarnate, Gerald, of their deceased father and sister, and it's Gerald, it's like a birthright almost. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it feels like, not only for them but also for the grandchildren. Like that's why this hurts so much, and this person is so heartless. Like the owner has said that the landlord has given her an ultimatum: either she removes the mural or he will remove the mural himself. And why is the mural being removed? Well, the mural is being removed because the landowner would like to make profit off advertising.
And that's, of course, greed is always the way in this case. Joe, I'm going to try and look for the actual change.org petition so everyone in the chat can be able to go ahead and follow suit. Your thoughts on this, my friend, because really, you're a business owner and people can respect business owners, but you also have a landlord, as you mentioned in the past, that you have to sometimes adhere to on things. But when common sense comes into play and heartlessness actually prevails, unfortunately, it's like it's trying to do right now. Something has to, and someone has to go ahead and get in the way of common sense, or for common sense, I should say.
I have a different take on this.
Okay, here it comes.
I don't care.
So you don't care about the mural at all?
I don't care about any of this.
Okay.
It's a landlord who apparently wants to slap some useless ads on there for whatever the hell he wants to do. Landlords typically are below the Mendoza line type people. I'm using a sports analogy there because it's a sports show. That area needs more help than murals. Sean, you mentioned you don't know that area well. Gerald and I know that area very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it comical that people are petitioning, and I'm trying to figure out, and I asked you this, Sean, too, when you first said that. I said, well, what does that mean, petition? Does that mean they get 75,000 signatures and then all of a sudden the landlord comes in and, okay, 75. That's really what I needed. Thank you. You can keep the mural on the wall. I think if people put enough effort in something like this, in things that actually did matter, like food in the area, housing, affordable housing, I think you'd get a better result and not have to deal with landlords like this. Hate to put a damper on it. I'm in support of anything Gigi and anything Kobe. You guys know that. But my disdain for nonsense never wanes. And I feel like this is a waste of time and a waste of energy. If you guys want murals of Kobe and Gigi, I'm sorry to say this, but put them on your own property. If somebody else starts begging and whining and whatever about their property not being done right, well, there's nothing you can do. Petition all you want. It's not going to fix anything, guys. And the fact that the energy has gone to this magnitude it's just, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much that gets attention with no result of anything has any substance. I know we want to see Kobe in a beautiful mural. I know that, but I think that area needs better economic relief and help than a mural. And that's the whole point here. And we're always about images, and we're always about idealism in moments that make you feel good. But how about putting that kind of energy in something that actually can help you every day, help people every day?
Well, I think what Sean is saying is that Vanessa Bryant asked that it be preserved, and she's leading the.
That's fine.
That's what brought it really into the public.
Well, that's true
life.
too, and good on their foundation, because they are like, that was one of Kobe's biggest goals. They said before he passed away, was trying to figure out how to make the homeless problem in Los Angeles find some solutions for it, because it's awful.
The easy answer would have been me going, yes, Gerald and Sean, we need to demand the mural to stay. It's the easy, feel-good answer. And the older I get, the more the amount of BS I can't handle anymore. And people will start tagging it, well, he's the old man and the whatever, and he's the this and this and this and that. When it's
not really. The chat agrees with you.
It's not coming from anywhere other than something that is we are having issues that are destroying people's lives. People who are sick, people who don't have homes, and then the people that are around it can't run businesses. They can't deal with the crime. They can't deal with the dirtiness. And I just think it's amazing that there's just so much of this energy towards things that just really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. And you would think that if you could just put that energy in something that would matter, that would help. But I like the mural. I've seen it live, by the way. I have driven by it and seen it. But I might be in the minority here. I'm not a big person who likes to see images of people I love memorialized. I actually don't like it. I don't like pictures of. I have a picture of my parents in my house, but I don't look at it a lot.
Well, it's too late now, Joe, because
for me, it's a reminder. It's a reminder. This is me. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. I respect the remembrance. I think it's great, but this is just me. This is just me. I like, and I told you guys this a few shows ago, I like turning on to Sportsnet and seeing Kobe doing an interview. It makes me feel like Kobe's still around. When I see a mural or a 1978 to 2020 number, I start going, shoot, he's gone. That's kind of how my mind works on this. Sorry.
Well, okay, and
it's probably why Sean got angry at me yesterday, and I've been pissing a lot of people off lately, more than you would think.
No, it's up there. That number is usually pretty high in the first place.
No, it's been pretty high lately.
Okay.
I think the reality of life is becoming more and more apparent around me, and I'm having a difficult time scaling back. But it's something I get. It's something I understand. I'll sit back after the dust has settled, and I'm like, I gotta let the dust settle. I know what's going on, but at the same time, I gotta stay true to how my mind works, guys. I can't fake it. I'm sorry. I wish I could.
Don't worry about it. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. And Doreen, she brings up a great point. What's the point of taking it down, though? Will everybody be better for it? Why not preserve Kobe and his daughter's memory? Uh, Personally, I would like to see it left up, but
I have a
Joel,
solution. I have a
okay,
positive in this end.
here we go.
I would say if the petition had 75,000 signatures and this gentleman wanted to do advertisement, maybe those petitioners pool money to pay for what money he would have gotten in advertisement. Then everybody wins.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Again, I would love for them to keep it up, but it is his property to do as he pleases. And, just because this one goes down doesn't mean another one can't go back up to honor him in a place where it won't be disturbed. So even if this goes down, which ultimately it looks like it's going to, because Joe's right, what would 75,000 signatures really do on change.org? Even if you get 1 million signatures, that probably still won't sway him unless he gets a call from the mayor or somebody to come in and buy the property, something like that. So it just comes down to the point where if that goes down, hopefully somebody will get the impetus to go ahead and put one up somewhere else, or maybe even LA Live. LA Live could use one. They are going to put the statue there or near there and all that. Why don't they put one up in LA Live? I think it would
They
really be a great way.
They do have they do have some nice. They do
Okay.
have some nice Kobe murals.
I haven't been there before I haven't been there since before the pandemic. To give you 2019.
When I went to Pow's jersey ceremony, there were a few in the area that were pretty nice.
Okay.
So they have put in, and they weren't on a billboard area. They were like on the wall.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, near a parking structure area. So they've put some nice stuff there.
Okay.
And of course, that's LA, like LA, downtown LA. I mean, that's I can't get that quote out of my head. It was such a perfect quote by David Fisdale. He said, "The Lakers are the heart of LA, and Kobe was the blood that flowed through it."
There you go.
I thought that was probably one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard in my life
to
describe what someone meant to something.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, goosebumps beyond goosebumps. I put it on my Facebook the day he passed, and I go, that is the most truest thing. And Kobe had discussed, and we've talked about, the difference between Kobe getting ice cream in Orange County versus coming to LA. You're talking about LA, guys. You have any idea how many movie stars have come out of here? How many musicians, iconic musicians that have come out of LA? Kobe, I can honestly say the only guy that could even get close is Magic. It's Magic and Kobe. You can pick either one and you'll win. So imagine that, a town of stars, a town of icons, a town of legends. Those two sit on top of those guys. I mean, he might as well be God in LA.
All right, so let's go ahead and just finish up. Again, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but I know Serge is getting really mad, and he's just such an outstanding as far as the way he moderates, for us here at the Lakers Fast Break. We don't want to get him too upset.
I
don't want to get you too upset.
I get it. I get it. Grief is a lifelong process for some people, and some people never get over it.
But I'm just going to say this. Joe said he doesn't want to be reminded of it, or, however you phrased it. The thing is, Kobe and Gigi, they died in a fashion, like Tupac Shakur, Biggie, Elvis, you name all those different individuals that have been Marilyn Monroe, all these different celebrities that have died in either mysterious or just different fashions that they're being brought back, and they're going to continue to be brought back. They're memorialized. They're part of pop culture after their deaths. Kobe and Gigi, but Kobe especially, has become a part of pop culture after his death and after his passing, even more so than he was before in many ways. So.
Absolutely, Gerald. That's 100% true. And there's a crossover there. There are different examples of that. Jim Morrison is another crossover. Jim Morrison died suddenly at the age of 27.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yes. So
30
there,
years from now, you're going to see Kobe t-shirts still out like crazy, still out in the wild.
how many, like, we still see kids on campus with Che Guevara shirts on, right,
Yeah,
Gerald? Yeah.
exactly.
So
So, yeah, I mean, he's been, because of who he was, but also because of how he died. Usually, just our society and the way we live just memorializes him, and in some ways goes through that grief process continuously, and we remind ourselves of their greatness each and every day by, again, all the tributes, but the fact that they were still so much a part of our culture that's ingrained out there even years after their passing. So it is what it is, but I think that it is ultimately his business. He'll do what he wants to do on it, whether to provide advertising or whatever. But I have a feeling if that goes down, another one will come up somewhere else that will probably be accepted in full. But that's just my thoughts out there. But I know there was something else, Magic Man, before we get into some deep Lakers talk here for the rest of the show. I know there was something else you wanted to talk about. A birthday you wanted celebrated this weekend,
yeah, well, there was two, Gerald.
and it wasn't okay. Yeah, you got Phil. Okay, you put
Yeah,
Phil in there
yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, two Laker legends have back-to-back birthdays here.
Mhm.
The since departed Elgin Baylor. I believe he would have been 88 if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Passed away March 2021.
Would have
Elgin
been a
proud.
year younger than my dad, who would have turned 89 yesterday. So
Oh, uh, dearly
same birthday
departed.
as, yes. No worries, no worries.
Dearly departed Gerald. We pray for him.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, Gerald, hard to find somebody who had a better 14-year career than Elgin Baylor. Went to 8 finals, 10 all NBA selections, made the NBA finals in his rookie year, although they got swept.
It was so
Uh,
funny when Dennis Schroeder had that terrible 4 for 26 game. His name was brought up because he's had two worse shooting games than that. But those are the only two small little, I guess, bumps in the road for him out of an outstanding career. We won't talk about his time and tenure as GM. Obviously, it speaks for itself. With the way that organization was headed up and run.
as a
He never,
Laker, he was excellent,
yeah, as a
Gerald.
Laker, there's just no question. I'm so sad. His story is in many ways very bittersweet about the greatness that he had, but his last year, what did the Lakers do? He retired correct early in the year. Then the Lakers ultimately went on to win in an ironic championship. Later that year, did they ultimately give him a ring?
The
Or
yeah the
It was offered to him, he declined.
yeah
yeah,
he it was kind of a from what I heard, it was a good thing that he retired because they were able to run a different type of offense with Gail Goodrich versus Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor is kind of like the Y.A. Tittle of the NBA. I think a better player in his respected league, but just that he just every time he took everything out of him and still couldn't
yeah.
get past the hump. And I think the killer was the 70 loss. 69 was bad, but the fact that they finally had gotten the Celtics out of their hair, they still end up losing to the Knicks. That would have.
What's amazing is that he's third all time in scoring average, though, and never won a scoring title because his career paralleled Wilt Chamberlain.
That's crazy.
Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, Elgin Baylor. Those are the 3 top scoring averages in the NBA
And he never
history.
won a scoring time. Again, it's such a bittersweet life in many ways for him when you look at it. Just the hand he was dealt with, the greatness that he had, and the fact that he is always overlooked. He is always overlooked as one of the great ones that's out there. You guys admit it. I mean, we sometimes forget ourselves just how great he was because of the fact that he didn't get a championship. Like you said, he never got a scoring title. yet he has achieved so many great things. He did achieve so many great things in his life, and yet a lot of people, understand him only as the hard luck GM who had to listen to Donald Sterling all those years running the Clippers. So, it is what it
I
is.
think that's the most tragic part about his story is having to work for that piece of garbage. Because I will say this, some won't believe me when I say this. I think he's got the best statue at the crypt.
I believe you. I've
I
seen
believe you
it.
as well.
I
It is a
believe you.
gorgeous statue
Yep.
for a great player whom, whenever you talk about high flyers and athletic ability, anyone who says that, oh, well, I got this from Dr. J, I got this from Michael Jordan. Well, Michael Jordan got it from Dr. J. He has said that before, and Dr. J got it from Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor, I know we sports people tie titles to legacy and life, but if you really, really put everything together, I think Elgin Baylor lived an iconic life, regardless of championship wins. I mean, he is a NBA icon, a legend, a Hall of Famer, and was a Laker and played with Jerry West, played against the greats. I think he lived a darn good life, guys. I would say the opposite. I'd say I don't think there's any real bitterness other than that just working for some scumbag. But that's
But just
not
the irony, in fact, that they won a title.
how many
in
of
the
us
year
out there
that he
have
left.
worked with scumbags before. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and Joe's correct, and like he tried to get some justice through the legal system, but ultimately, he was unsuccessful because he couldn't prove age discrimination against Donald Sterling. And we all know it had little or nothing to do with Elgin's age, but he couldn't prove other things that we know now were unsubstantiated beyond belief, Gerald. That the
Well,
things
I
he
still think
said,
there's some irony in his whole life and his career. The fact that he, like you said, has the third highest scoring average of all time, yet never won a scoring title. The fact that the year that he decided to retire, the Lakers went on to win the championship. It just, it almost like at times, just the cards weren't dealt fairly to him. And the fact that he got that job with the GM should have been a great moment in his life, in his career. And he was prevented from being able to go. You could just tell he was prevented from being able to go ahead and build a top flight organization. So in essence, by all his years of failure as a GM in the, as member of the Clippers GM, it just shows that so many years of an organization gone awry, that he was, at the head of the ship of it, or near the head of the ship of it. Just, you could tell he was just not able to go ahead and be able to lead the team like he ever wanted to.
no, not at all, Gerald. Even though he did win an Executive of the Year, if you want to look that up for me, Gerald, I think it was 06.
Okay.
I think it was
No, I agree. I'll look it up here. It's like, yeah.
okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the tenure is obviously very sour, just given the revelations that are like a floodgate about what Donald Sterling did, who he is, what he represents, and it's just you're right, Gerald. It's a taint, unfortunately, on a legacy career that once that black spot is there, it's hard to remove it.
It was 2006. Yes.
Okay, yeah,
But
not
during
bad.
his tenure, here more irony, they only managed only 2 winning seasons.
That is wow. That is a lot of abysmal beyond mediocrity. That's cellar dweller for 20 of your 22 years because you had somebody like that that you were working for.
yeah. I mean, it's very hard to field a team when the owner doesn't want to pay for anyone or pay for a good coach.
Yeah.
Well, he had a 22-year job in LA. I looked at it as, heck, 22 years at the same job in LA, nice place at least, around still a little bit of where you were with the Lakers in the building.
And Kurt is right. He was the first player ever to score over 70 points a game. So he did have the highest scoring game in NBA history at one time. So
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I don't see any negative in Elgin's life. I think he lived a great life. If somebody didn't give him enough credit for being who he was, I mean, he wasn't a boisterous guy. It wasn't loud. A lot of times, have you noticed a lot of these media guys that are ex-NFL coaches and players, you'll notice that the guys that are on NFL Network and yapping more than, let's say, someone who isn't, tend to get more attention to get in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Joe's right. Terrell Owens, just a number of different players. Joe's correct.
Yeah, marketing is everything, right? So the marketing around Elgin was Elgin Baylor, too cool for school, and this is what it is. But we know the right people know. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Heck, if you don't believe it, then just go take a trip in front of Crypto, and you'll see him. He's right there, and it's a beautiful remembrance of who he was, and you'll get a chance to see his statistics. And the sad thing is that it's the videos. The videos were not as prominent at that time. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to worry about that. But that's just the way it is, guys.
Once again, It's the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. It is Magic Man Sean Grice and Joe Soar as well. One of the things we've got to talk to as we get closer and closer to training camp is those starting lineups again, because it was very much a heated discussion the other day with Lakerholics right there as far as who we put in. In fact, I even caught a hint that maybe Laker Tom kind of knows now that AD might be playing the 5. Is this going to be the case there, Sean? It just seems like more and more, I guess just becoming more comfortable with the fact that AD will still most likely, even with all the players we got and all the depth we have, looks like AD will probably still be playing the 5.
I'm just calling this. I call this GGLD now. Gerald Glassford's logical deduction. He did this on a few shows ago. He said, "Well, you know something, Tom. It looks like AD's probably going to be the 5 and Christian Wood's going to come off the bench." Well, Gerald, we're going to find out, but I disagree. And no,
he actually forced me into a bet. That's what he did.
Yeah. So you're going to win that bet. You're going to win that bet.
I just told him to take Mrs. Tom out to dinner.
That's nice. That's a nice bet. That's a very nice bet. So, so the starting 5 likely before training camp is D'Lo, Austin Reeves, LeBron, Vando, and AD, Gerald. That would likely be your starting 5.
It's likely, unless they, unless they just do a curveball again and Damian Jones comes walking out of that, or Jackson.
Don't even say his name, Gerald. It's like Beetlejuice. Don't even say his name.
I think when they signed Damian Jones, I think they were.
He was their starting center in training camp.
I think they were just trying to fill that gap in some way, and they realized after about a week, they're like, "What the hell did we just do?" It is what it is in the NBA. That I'm trying to figure out if they do an expansion. I know Stone said that there's a lot more talent out there, but that might have been the only time I've kind of maybe not agreed with Stone on the talent part. There's a really, really, really low amount of talent, NBA talent.
I mean, Tristan Kardashian found another place in the league, Joe.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the talent setup. It might be a little middle top heavy at the point. Right? You know what? It's always been like this. Actually, I think we're in revisionist history now. No, the talent has always been like this in the NBA. Whether it was 26 teams, 28 or 30, So at least from my time. So I don't care right now what the starting lineup is going to be because we have to see how things develop in training camp and in preseason, and then obviously the first maybe month or so in the season. Ideally, I would love to have AD start at the 4 and have a center at the 5, and it makes sense that it would be that in the end here because again, you have a 5 for the first time who has the ability to shoot the ball. So it would make sense. The only problem is it going to be a problem on defense if D'Angelo Russell is starting? I would be more surprised if Wood isn't starting the center, actually. I would be less surprised if the Lakers said, you know what, we want to start Christian Wood at the 5 because of his ability and his ability to also help AD. But we're going to have to move someone who originally was starting to the bench because of, again, defensive reasons. So you bring in Gabe Vincent, who could play better defense than D'Angelo Russell, right? Those are the type of things I'm going to be waiting to see and watch how it develops. We're going to have a few guys that are not going to make it, guys. I think that's something we have to understand. There are going to be a few guys that are not going to play well. And then there's going to be some guys that are going to be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I think he's going to be part of the rotation here. So we have to go into the season understanding for the first time in a very long time, we're going to be watching a team develop. And you can't get too emotional about, this guy sucks and this guy's this and this guy's that. No, the Lakers put this together the perfect way with the resources they could put together. Let's see who comes out of the mush. Let's see who comes out of it. There's not one guy other than LeBron and AD, and to some degree Austin Reeves. There's no one other than those three that can really, for me, go, oh God, we're done, we're over, we're finished. That's not how you look at this. You're not being very realistic if you do. After Austin Reeves, everyone is a specific role player. Austin Reeves is a advanced role player. Rui, we still have to wait for that one. We still have to wait. I can't commit to that one yet. But if I can just get him to play 2 out of the 3 games during the week, like Rui was in the playoffs, we're in good shape. But we can't expect these guys to be all-stars. I think that's something that's going to be very important to focus on. The only all-stars on this team really are AD and LeBron, guys. Everyone else needs to play a role. They need to understand they might play 10 minutes, they might play 20 minutes, they might play 30 minutes one game. All of them have to understand that role. If they understand that, that means the depth's going to be there, and the ability to play basketball without the main guys all the time is going to benefit them because they'll be sustaining leads and winning games without LeBron and AD constantly having to be on the floor to make sure they have a chance at winning the game.
I was reminding Kurt that if and when Mrs. and Laker Tom go out to dinner, again, if I win the bet, that's what I hope they do. I just told Tom, go ahead, take your wife out to dinner. Half the time would be centered around, of course, Christian Wood, but half the time would be also, I needed to remind him, half the time, Sean, would be revolving around the Buddy Hield, Miles Turner trade. Phone call. Sean.
Yeah, that's me.
All right. See, that's Tom right now calling you right there on the Batman hotline. But I will ask you this, my friend, when it comes to what you're seeing with what's going on with the Lakers. Again, Vando is not it's not a surefire starter because there's some like Joe that still sees Wood as the starter. Again, I don't care either which way. I just want to be able the Lakers to go ahead and provide good starts in the first and third quarter because that's something that's been lacking, especially in the third quarter. My concern is LeBron, as was mentioned by someone new in the chat. I wanted to go ahead and bring that up.
Welcome, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. He mentioned that he doesn't want, as what I've told you before, at 38 years old, LeBron should not be chasing threes. If you have Wood as the 4 or the 5, and you put AD as the 4 or the 5, whatever combo way you want to put it, LeBron's playing the 3, and unfortunately, he might be stuck chasing threes.
Yeah, that could be the case, Gerald. They're gonna have to make it work. Something, Gerald. Somehow the Lakers made it work between having Trevor Ariza on the perimeter with Kobe one year, and then having Kobe and Meta World Peace on the court the following year, winning a championship. Somehow they made it work. Look, Trevor Ariza was very good at guarding lean, long wings and guards. But when it came to bigger wings and more physical power forwards, Paul Pierce, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, he just had a difficult time. So what did the Lakers do? They went out and acquired Meta World Peace. And Meta World Peace was the answer for that. So you're right, Gerald. It's a lot of it's going to be based on matchups. And Vando has proven he can run around 1 through 4. I've seen him guard John Morant, seen him clamp up Steph Curry. I've seen him bother Devin Booker. I've seen him completely irritate Julius Randle. And Julius is a big power forward as well. What he can't do is guard 5s. So you're not going to put him there at all, Gerald. So Vando either fits as a
LeBron
defensive.
can guard a 5 depending on the 5. You put him against
Depending on the 5, yeah.
You put him against half the league, and some of the guys out there that are just stiffs, or guys in the at the center position that really can't do much. That's a different story. But then again, LeBron doesn't box out, so.
Yeah, so I mean, even against a guy like Dom Sabonis, Gerald, he's gonna get eaten alive on the boards. Dom's just a
but if he's against
rebounder,
I know, but if he's against you name another low end
Alperen Şengün, he'll eat him up for breakfast. Yeah. So, or you have Chris Boucher or somebody like if the Magic explore Pablo Banchero at the center, Gerald, I think LeBron.
We saw the residuals of that.
Yeah. Well, so I think I'd feel all right about LeBron if that were the case. But yeah, smaller, less physical centers, or even big, leaner ones. LeBron can out physical them,
or inexperienced ones like Williams and Charlotte. Let's just him.
Mark Williams. Yeah.
So I'm just again, it depends on who you have LeBron at, Joe. And that's the concern I have. If you put him in a situation where he's out there with Wood and of course AD, great on the offensive end. Having Wood out there just opens up so many avenues, especially if you have Austin Reeves and D'Lo hitting from 40% behind the arc. If you have 3 players that can potentially hit 38, 39, 40% from behind the arc, I know it opens everything up on the offensive side, and that's what you're going to have to live with. If you have them all out there, if you have Wood out there with AD and LeBron, that's what you're going to have to live with. You're going to have to make sure you outscore opponents instead of being able to focus so much on trying to stop them on the defensive end.
Or you're going to need to implement a defensive philosophy that at least slows down your opponent. That's going to play an interesting part in this. I'm going to be looking for that. I want to see if there's going to be something like that. I've seen lackluster defenders play well on a new team because they bought into the team philosophy. I've used the 2008 Celtics as an example a few times with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Before 2008, Paul Pierce and Ray Allen were known as one-dimensional players. Great players, but one-dimensional. And they played as good a defense or team defense as you could in 2008. And we saw the results at the end there. There's basketball, and what you saw with Denver, you saw everyone stay healthy and buy into the team philosophy. Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Jokic, everyone, Bruce Brown. So it's at the end of the day, if you have the superstar or superstars, then you have the role players, and then you have the guys that are maybe a little bit more than a role player, and then you have a respected coach, and everyone understands where they're supposed to be. it's not going to fail, especially if you're healthy. And of course, Denver was healthy all year last year. So your mind has to be at that moment. You have to be about that. All right, guys. The only thing we can't control is somebody getting injured, but we can control the locker room. We can control us being all buying into what we're doing. And if you don't get injured, you're probably going to win. And
So
we're gonna have to see how this develops. There's nothing set in stone right now. Nothing. You have to wait. Can't just assume.
So let me ask you this, my friend. We're 14 players in, 12 deep. Let's go just say 12 deep at this point, right? 12 NBA players with two exceptions. Let's just say the Jackson Hayes and Cam Reddish. They have a lot to prove, but if everything hits on them, you have a 12 deep rotation of quality NBA players. You still have the two rookies. You still have one slot open. Would you fill it, decide filling it during training camp, or keep it open during the season, Joe?
I don't have any thoughts on the 15th spot. To me, that's like a third string quarterback. I don't really care.
Christian Wood was once the 15th man on the roster.
We've talked about that at nauseum. Christian Wood is an exception to the rule in a weird cosmic negative way that could be positive. He's a paradox. He's a guy that's 27 who can be a 2010 player who's getting paid the minimum at 27. Something is off that no one has made public. We're taking advantage of it here. And if he plays out well here and doesn't cause problems, we are going to reap the benefits of a malcontent behind the scenes. That's what this will be about. Go ahead, Sean.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? That was really good, Joe. I only replaced malcontent with doofus because it sounds like nothing he's ever done has been malicious, like in the locker room. Like you haven't heard any inkling or any kind of like smoke signal that there's been problems with like interpersonal interaction with guys, that he hasn't, but it's little things, right? It's there was a story that the Mavs had a meeting at 9 o'clock and he was still up in his hotel room eating his breakfast at 9:15. It like little things like that like could carry over, like that it could bother a lot of people. We're all on time, why aren't you? So I don't think it's like anything malicious. He's like he's been stupid, right? A lot of times on the court defensively. That's basically I think what's held him back, Gerald. It's not his offense. It's the like I was trying to say with Joe. It's like that doofus attitude you have defensively, and Joe's right. If he cleans that up, if you're paying attention or at least trying to, it'll lead to better results defensively. I really do believe that. He's shown he's very capable as a help defender, very capable as a rim deterrent. Drilled, I wouldn't call him a rim protector at all. Wouldn't use that phrase, but he can be a rim deterrent. He's shown it with his ability to defend at the rim. So I think Joe's right. If he just kind of keeps his nose clean and doesn't ruffle any feathers, it'll work for both the Lakers and Wood.
So I want to touch on this, something we touched on a little bit yesterday, but I really wanted to go into more on it because this is a very critical and pivotal year for Max Christie, who looked so outstanding in Summer League. Really was a man among boys, and that's what usually you have to do, Sean, in a second year of Summer League, is you really have to excel. And that's what I believe he did. He really showed himself to be someone that could possibly find him somewhere himself somewhere in the rotation. And if he does find himself somewhere in the rotation, that could mean big money for him as a free agent. Your thoughts on the type of opportunity he will get if he continues to play like he did in Summer League?
Yeah, Gerald, that's going to be a tough nut for Rob Pelinka. If Max Christie all of a sudden becomes kind of not only the most improved player probably in Summer League, I think his peers voted him that, Gerald. I believe it was him and Branham who were the standouts amongst their peers. But I digress. It's going to be hard because, like we talked about, why only sign him to a 2-year deal? Why? What? Because this exact conundrum may present itself, Gerald. If he's averaging, 10.5 points, 3.5 boards, 2.5 assists in 15, 17 minutes, Gerald, yeah, we're talking about a guy who's going to get looked at real hard in free agency.
Yeah, no doubt about that, especially if he gets close to the magic 40% line, Joe, as far as behind the arc. That's something that I think realistically he can do, Joe, given the limited amount of playing time he will probably get unless there are injuries. Your thoughts on Max Christie this season?
I don't know how some of these guys are going to come out of the gate to earn their minutes. That's the fun part about finding out. I don't know. There's too many people, too many players on this team that can
Another
come out of the
subscriber.
gate.
Thank you. What do you
What
think
Joe's
about that,
saying
Joe?
is
It doesn't
there's a lot
matter
of
what you
hungry
think, Joe.
guys
We got
with a
another
lot to
subscriber.
True, very true. Max
Yeah.
Christie, I don't really. I
Magic
don't.
Man, he didn't hear your new subscriber chant. So, by the way, thank you for subscribing. I truly appreciate it.
I don't know. I don't know who's going to come out of the ether. I don't. But I have a very good feeling there will be enough. There will be enough to come out that will make the difference. And the more they have, though, the more contributors they have on this team, the easier it is going to be to manage minutes. And there was a little bit of heat on the last show we did with the Lakerholics about load management, with all due respect to Laker Tom. Laker Tom's mentality on load management is what usually causes mediocrity. And it's just not something I can accept. It promotes complacency and in an era where health and nutrition and technology and information is at warp speed, that should catch up to the speed of what this game is. It didn't. People are not running 4-second 40-yard dashes in the NBA to be that so far ahead. Okay, yes, it's a faster game. The athletes are more athletic. I get that, but at the same time, the fundamentals are trash. And when your fundamentals are not really that good, you can fall back in the pack when it comes to athleticism. So if you don't believe me, I want you guys to watch an entire game of Nikola Jokic. And I want you guys to tell me what an athletic freak he is between 2 feet. What does he do? Okay, he's not blowing by AD. He's not blowing by the Christian Woods. He's not blowing by a KD. What's he doing? How does he dominate so well? How is he hitting every shot? How is he dishing 12 assists? How the hell is he getting all these rebounds if he's not as athletic? Oh, that's right. The fundamentals, the execution of the shot, the bounce pass, the spacing, the leadership.
Not drinking 2 liters of Coke a day.
I mean, guys, you keep telling me what I'm supposed to know, and then I watch the TV, the game, And I'm going, what are you telling me that I'm seeing over there? Because I'm not seeing what you're telling me. If it's just all about athleticism and speed and this and that, then why? Why is this happening? Why is this guy not sitting on his third straight MVP? Oh, by the way, the guy that won the MVP this year, he's just as slow as he is. I'm not doing this. This is what's going on. So I implore you guys to truly understand what the point is here when we talk about being available. Being available in anything is the most important thing in understanding the commitment. If you're playing your rear end off and you're not good enough, that's life. Okay, it's going to be apparent, but we need to at least see it, right? We need to. If you're not there doing it, then how are we ever going to know? Then it becomes one of those wasted talent things. But in the end, I understand that there needs to be some management when it comes to LeBron and AD. I get that, but the availability, the cohesiveness, the continuity is important. We can't afford to have these guys not be there. Still, and if you read the rules on the load management thing, they're very adamant about the players being there, even if they're not playing. They need to still be there because maybe they have a responsibility to still be there to promote the league, promote the team. I'm putting it nicely now. I could have gone into a rant. I don't feel like going into a rant right now about it because I think we already talked about it before. But if you're going to come at us with some BS, I'm going to make you come on the show. Like face to face, not hiding behind a little monitor over there. Because we've tried to do that on a couple of instances with people yapping about how they don't like what we're saying. And we like, well, come tell me to my face.
We had you had an email yesterday in regards to that didn't like what you and I said about Vanda, or didn't agree. I shouldn't say didn't agree with.
I'm not talking about that one. That's fine.
That was actually a good opinion from on their side.
Right. No. There's great. Look, I will
shout out to you, Rodell. Good job.
Yeah, great. Good return. Good return on that. You guys have every right to disagree with what we think is gonna happen. Right.
As long as you're bringing valid points to the table, 100%. Which you did.
But what I am going to attack is misinterpretations of what we're saying. We're not saying what we're saying is what we're saying because we're explaining it too. If you want to go into another realm and think, oh, wow, this is what's going on, then, well, okay, well, come explain to me why you think that. Because that doesn't make any sense. We never said anything like that. And yeah, it's not. This is just. We're 3 weeks away, guys, from getting a little bit into this, and then after they start playing the games a little bit, we're gonna really, really know.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, Darren. One of the things I tried to propose in recent days, behind the scenes, is a type of what we could do before the season preview with connecting all the big Lakers channels together to try and do some sort of charity marathon event, charity marathon streaming event. I was hoping that we would go through, but not too many of these channels seem to be interested so far. But you know what? Just if it would, Laker Tom and Joe would go ahead and argue load management for a charity benefit.
I don't think I want to argue with Laker Tom. My voice travels.
You might have to donate to his charity.
My voice travels a little too loudly in that kind of discussion. I don't think it's. Look, I think Tom has a lot of enthusiasm in what he feels, and I think that's probably why I don't try to rag on his stuff too much, because it comes from a place of excitement versus trying to be right. I know that might be misinterpreted with some people.
Sometimes he tries to insist he's right.
That's fine. But at the end of the day, he's excited. There's an excitement there about him sending out those trades. And
so when he calls you stupid for thinking the opposite of him?
I've been called every name in the book. There isn't a name on the planet I haven't been called. And there's not a name that you can call me, good or bad, that would change a lick of who I know who I am.
Okay.
I don't get insulted. I can be bothered a little bit, but I don't go crying in a corner.
Yeah, he was bothered. He was bothered this morning.
Well, I think the bother of that was the repeated times I've said stop doing that. That will bother me after a while. But what doesn't bother me is I didn't write what I wrote and then went and curled up in the corner. I don't do that. I am my empathy meter can be very, very, very brutal. I think that's the only word I can think. I think it can come off really brutal. I'm wired that way. I'm sick that way. That's just the way I cope with stuff. And I usually get myself. I'm usually by myself when I need to reflect. Let's just put it that way.
No hot yoga for you?
I mean, the spin in the morning is very close to yoga. I'm around a lot of beautiful women. It's hot in there, and
Careful,
I'm
Joe.
just on a bike.
Mrs. Sorrow might be within earshot.
And she's in the room with me.
Oh, okay, good. All right, fair enough.
No, it's not a lie, guys. Look,
Joe's going Dirk Diggler on us.
Look, this when it comes to hot yoga, when it comes to these spin classes, it's not a secret. It's always like they just broke out of the Ford model agency everywhere. They all drive the same cars. They all drive white SUVs or a white Tesla or something like that. Like I remember,
one of my great friends was one of the first Black female police officers in the city of Ottawa. They were the first file trailblazers, and one day we were on our way to work, and her name's Leslie, and Leslie said, "Sean, you want to know something? Look around at all these cars, all these white cars." I said, "Yeah." Said they're all being driven by white women.
It's true.
So what Joe said is 100% correct.
And they all go to spin or hot yoga, and half of them are blonde and blue eyes. Just it's the reality of it, guys. So yeah, and by the way, for those of you who don't know,
Darren, nice one.
If I don't know if anybody's heard this, but testosterone does go up around good scenery. So you get the benefit of a lot of things, a lot of good things there. You're motivated to go in the morning. There's a huge what's that Lululemon, whatever yoga pants stuff that people love to wear these days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this
has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
The Lululemon underwear for men is fantastic.
Okay.
I wasn't aware they made one for men.
Yeah.
When Joe Thornton said that they were great, the sales went up in
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool. Under the hockey uniforms?
I guess he likes it on and off the ice, Joe.
Good for Joe. I get it. Cool. Good for him.
Hey, I've worn them. They are comfortable.
Good. That's good. I don't think I could wear those without covering up though in public.
I'm not touching that one. Sorry, in any way, shape, or form. All right.
No, but Gerald, that's true. The Speedo trend in Europe.
You're more aerodynamic. I totally get it.
And South America did not catch on in the West.
See what you get, guys and gals, come for right here at the Lakers Fast Break. This is what happens when somebody called in sick. And this is what you get. This channel did get weird. Search, you've been moderating.
This is the first time I've felt like Search is off. We jacked them up today.
Yeah.
Sorry, Search. This is the first time we've messed you up. I apologize.
Search, come on. This is not the first time we've gone off the rails on this.
No. We've gone off the rails, but Search is off. Like he's really like you could verbally see he's not very happy right now. So we got to figure out how to get him back on track.
Absolutely. Well, we only got 5 more minutes left because I got to go and host the Cosmos. But before we head on out, guys, obviously, again, less than 3 weeks left before training camp. We've got a lot to cover. We still got to go ahead and make sure John and I are trying very hard behind the scenes to get more Western Conference teams together for reports. But we also will be talking plenty of Lakers. I know tomorrow probably we're going to stick to a Laker-centric show. So
I gotta say, the two guys, John and is it John and sorry, the second name from the Phoenix show,
oh, okay, yeah,
You.
those guys.
John and Matthew.
Matthew.
Those guys were
The
great.
so I pay attention to the sounds a lot. Their voice resonates. Empire Jeff's voice resonates. Our guy, our last guy,
Frank from the Chop Shop.
Frank
He was terrific.
fantastic. These kind of the voices and the delivery from these guys bring on a whole new quality that I'm very excited to start promoting here in the next 9 months. I'm very, very proud of you guys for putting in the work and getting this talent in. This is really, really good stuff. I'm really enjoying it.
I know, Serge, but again, I appreciate all your help. I know Gage did again. He has COVID and just was too under the weather to go ahead and speak to us tonight. And obviously, we got to respect that fact. But I do appreciate the fact that you had everything ready for him, and appreciate everything that you do for us. We will be getting, we'll do something good for you. Don't worry. Fortune will be good for you from all of us here at the Lakers Fast Break. We have not forgotten you. We will not forget the work that you do for us here on the show, on the channel, on the show. But guys, it's been great having you on. It's been great chewing the fat for now. We thought we'd fill it up anyways, even though our guest unfortunately had to go ahead and cancel at the last minute. So we truly apologize that for again. But we do have more Western Conference previews on the way. Tomorrow we have more on the Lakers. You know there's going to be some more good Lakers news that comes up at some point in time. Monday morning always brings a good, different news cycle, either the Lakers or the NBA. So I'm looking forward to hearing more juicy stuff because Sean, Joe, we're getting closer to training camp. We're less than 10 days away from training camps for those teams that go overseas. So yeah, media day is coming up very shortly for some of those teams. And that'll be interesting, especially, I think Philadelphia. I think with the media's right, Philadelphia will probably be the most interesting media day. Do you guys agree or disagree, or somewhere else?
Yeah, I'd say that's a good one.
Milwaukee might be,
because I want to see if James Harden will double down on his comments, which he probably won't. His agent's probably like, don't say anything derogatory. This isn't China, so. We'll see. But
we know certain people in the news lately have been given advice by lawyers, and they don't listen to their lawyers. And I don't expect James Harden to necessarily listen to his representation, because I think
it did cost him $100,000 last time.
Yeah, it did. It just, he's not going to.
I know it's pennies on the dollar for him, but it's still $100,000.
It's $100,000 less that he has to use for extra curricular activities.
Now, Milwaukee rumored to get campaign after they got Ty Washington, so there you go.
That'll make Giannis stay.
Yep. They need a lot more help than that. The only team that can't sign him is Phoenix for obvious reasons. They're the only team that can't sign him. So I think that maybe the Clippers should look into it if the things would, as far as Clippers, they're struck. Come on, Russell Westbrook has a very good shot
Clippers
of being their starting.
Dead, dude. Doesn't matter who they bring in. They're dead.
Yep. Well, James Harden doesn't come for them. They are really, really good.
I still try to figure out what the hell they would send Philly's way.
They can't even drum up great enthusiasm for this whole arena.
And their 1,000 toilets.
Yep.
What?
I don't know. I heard something where they're going to put another 1,000 toilets.
There's a high priority on the toilets in that new arena because
the symbolism there. The symbolism.
Exactly.
Yeah. The symbolism.
Darren says the Knicks have 3 starters that are left-handed. That has to be a record. You might be right on that, Darren. The Knicks, I think, are going to have a pretty solid season. How far they go up is going to be, well, we'll see. We'll see.
That's an easy defensive scheme. Just make them go right.
Exactly. What do we say about Jaylen Brown?
Can't drive left. He'll never be able to go to England.
Yes.
And he'll never be able to drive NASCAR.
On that note, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this impromptu Sunday night talk. We'll be back tomorrow with one of our regular shows, talking the NBA and, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers, the new arena, the toilet bowl? Possibly. There you go. All right. Or the Royal Flush.
You should have. I was waiting for you to put that into the sound.
I thought you had the. Had the
Joe,
sounds.
you have the soundboard.
You're the producer, not me. The hell do I look like?
Beep.
Voice guy?
Beep. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again on this impromptu Sunday evening talk. It's Joe Soro, Magic Man Sean Grice. We truly want to thank you for stopping by. Look for us tomorrow, providing more mischief, talking hot yoga, talking spin classes, talking, I guess, gym wear.
Hot women.
Women.
You guys were talking more about the sportswear than the hot women, so that's where it really got weird. But okay, whatever we talk about, we're going to talk about it better than anybody. Plus, we also got the best Lakers chat room that's around. Of course, you can find it only right here for all the scintillating talk that only we can bring right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Oh my gosh. You're going to get me so banned.